Hey guys, welcome back to Cobradvs' 13 Days of Halloween special. Next game we're going to be taking a look at is Ghouls and Ghosts on the Sega Genesis. Now I'm not super familiar with this game, but from what I would guess, it is a sequel to Ghosts and Goblins on the NES. That would only make sense. And I think it's a sequel pretty much in the truest sense. It's pretty much like the same game, just a little bit different. First off, because it's on the Genesis, of course, it has better graphics than the NES one. They do look good, even for being 16-bit. This is a pretty good-looking 16-bit game, and the copyright date on this was '88, which is a really early Genesis game. So this game looks really well, really good for being so early. So I can assume you take the place of Arthur, which was the character from the first game. And pretty much it follows the same pattern. It's a platforming with some shooting going on. Nothing. It doesn't vary too far from the main concept of the first game, and keeps things pretty simple for the most part. And by simple, I don't mean with game difficulty, because that is sort of where this game sort of can turn people off. I found it to be pretty easy in the beginning, like this the beginning part, this first few little bit of the level. But as you get on, like in the game, the later in this level, it gets really tough, and I actually found it to be quite a bit more difficult than Ghosts and Goblins on the NES, and and I think because of that, overall, I think I had a better time with Ghouls and Ghosts. I'm sorry, Ghosts and Goblins on the NES. I'm not really sure why, because they're both easy, both difficult, but I just found the other one to be a little bit more enjoyable. So something about this one, there's different power-ups for your weapons and things like that. And in this one, I may have been wrong in my review of the Ghosts and Goblins on the NES in saying that there is a way to rebuild your armor. I'm not sure if there is in that game. Maybe it might have been this game I was thinking about. There is a way to rebuild your armor. You just have to kill an enemy and pick it up. Sometimes they're in treasure chests too, and when you break these treasure chests open, you have to be careful, because sometimes there could be a good weapon in there, could be some extra ammo, or it could be a wizard that's gonna try and kill you. And again, with this game, you can get turned into different animals, like a duck, for instance, and it makes it really hard. So this part of the level here, I found to be extremely difficult. The wind you can see in the background blowing that tree does affect your jumping. It's blowing into you, so your character walks slower, and if you jump, he will almost like blow backwards. So it's very difficult. And then some of these enemies are not necessarily, they're like wind gusts or something, but some of them are actually like enemies, creatures like that for example. And you do have to avoid them, and it gets very difficult jumping with that wind and everything like that. So it is tough. So the controls are pretty easy. It's pretty much what you would expect. B is your attack button, C is jump. Nothing, it works well. I didn't find them to be an issue. So it controls well. Unfortunately, you still cannot shoot up or down, which would help in this game, because it is difficult, and unfortunately you can't. But nonetheless, it's still a really enjoyable game. I would rank it slightly under Ghosts and Goblins for the NES. I don't know, just for some reason I had more fun with that one. So overall, I'd say it's a great game for the Genesis. So pick it up if you're into these sort of games, and I don't think you'll regret it. It's a fun game. So thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned. Next, we'll keep going with the Ghouls and Ghosts theme.